Hey dummy, welcome back to my channel. I'm Biki and you're not. Today we're gonna go on a field trip. Instead of staying in my dungeon, we're gonna go to my kitchen because we're gonna be cooking tiramisu. Now, before you think that I'm going and copying Kelly Stamps because we're both black girls who live in New York City, that's completely false. I'm copying Kelly Stamps because we're both anxious and classy, so get it straight. But actually, Kelly is so lucky that she monopolized tiramisu because it's such a cute, romantic, yummy, light dish. My favorite food is spaghetti, so I don't like, what am I supposed to do with that? Get sponsored by like Olive Garden or something? So, not to brag, but I kind of consider myself a really good baker. I'm not a master chef or anything, but I feel like I have the grounds to say that because I make puff pastry from scratch. No offense to you like banana bread people, but I feel like if I can make puff pastry, I could pretty much do anything. Banana bread people, please don't hurt me. So, I'm gonna be upfront. This is a little bit premeditated. I don't know why I said premeditated like it's a murder. I made ladyfingers in advance and I feel like they're pretty spot on. Look at the comparison between like the ladyfingers in the store and ladyfingers I made. It's like the same thing. Just another example of my baking prowess. I'm gonna be using both. I didn't make enough on my own. I feel like it's gonna taste good regardless. This is actually the first time I'm ever making tiramisu. I've never done it before, so I don't know. I feel like whenever I make stuff for the first time, it usually comes out not bad. So I feel like it's gonna taste fine. Little disclaimer, but you should probably not do anything that I do in this video. Keep in mind that this was like 4 AM and I was just not following the directions properly. Whenever you look at a recipe, make sure you read through it and actually pay attention to what the person is telling you to do and then do it. Don't just make stuff up. It's not good and it bites me in the ass later, but you'll see what I mean in a second. Hello, hello, hello. It's Biki from the future, here telling you to wash your freaking hands because I shouldn't have to tell you this, especially when you're cooking for other people. So first off, we're going to make an espresso and it says to make it super strong, so I made sure to put 2 tablespoons of that stuff, even though you're really only supposed to use 1 teaspoon, but who cares. This isn't included in the recipe, but as a bonus step, you can eat ice cream straight out of your freezer using a fork. This is optional, you don't have to. Also, your mom might not like that. So let's actually get to the recipe. So what you want is 2 containers of this mascarpone thing, which is basically just cream. And for something that's just cream, this was incredibly hard for me to find. Put the mascarpone in your, what is it called again? Not a blender. Your mixer. Put it in your mixer and just get it all in there. This is really satisfying. I love this spatula, by the way. Now you might be asking yourself, is she really about to use a mixer at 4 AM when her entire family and neighborhood is asleep? And the answer to your question is yes. Next up, we want some eggs. Lucky for me, I had the exact number of eggs needed by the recipe. But this is where things kind of start to go really bad, and I mean like really bad. I'll get into that later. Boil some water for the double boiler we're gonna want to use later. The thing is still whisking away. I'm kind of mad about this. I actually didn't even record me screwing the entire recipe. When I say the entire recipe, I mean the entire recipe. I screwed up the entire recipe with this one mistake, and I didn't even record it. So basically, I'm supposed to separate the egg yolks from the whites, and I have no idea what happened. I didn't like puncture it or anything. It just came out of the shell cracked. Shoot. Yeah, that's how I feel right now still. What I thought I would do is I would just take the yolks out and then I would eat the egg whites for breakfast or something. Just understand that this was a terrible mistake that I would have to pay for later on in the video. Also, pro tip, but it's always good to use your hands rather than the shell to separate the yolks, just because your hands are softer. So what you want to do is put the egg yolks on the double boiler. I love double boilers so much. Also, that's a fun word to say, double boiler. And whisk it. As I said, I wasn't following directions. I was supposed to put sugar in this, so I don't like do it until later. So the mascarpone is done whipping. I don't know why I took it out of the mixing bowl. This is kind of like a dumb, I don't know why. This clip shouldn't exist. Things look good at this point. I put the sugar in the egg yolks. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Yeah, whatever. So this part was really fun. I don't know why. It's just like very satisfying for me to look at. Tell me if I'm wrong. I know I'm not, but you can try to tell me I'm wrong. See how that works out for you. Mix the egg yolks and the whipped mascarpone together, and it just comes together really nicely. Kind of looks like scrambled eggs a little bit, but it tastes really good. I mean, it's kind of hard to mess this up. It's literally like milk and sugar and egg. It's basically a cream. I mean, that's exactly what it is. And it's just a pretty color of yellow. You know, I'm gonna use that yellow as the borders. Yeah, I like that color. Don't do this. I feel like I need to really tell you, do not do this. This was really like dumb and I was just being really lazy. So take a look at this clip. I'm about to put the mascarpone egg yolk mixture back into the mixer because you're supposed to whip it up again. But I was just so lazy and I didn't want to clean it out. So I put the bowl in the whisk. My finger kind of got clipped a couple of times. That's really bad. Don't do that. Next, we want to whip the whipped cream, except it's not whipped yet. It's just regular unwhipped cream. 2 cups of that. Put it in the mixer. I, as you can see, didn't wash anything because I was really lazy. I just eyeball the vanilla, put in some sugar because there's like sugar left over and I was so confused what it was for. That's not, don't put the sugar in the whipped. I mean, you can. I feel like it doesn't really make a difference, but you're supposed to put it in another thing that we're gonna get to in a second. Oh. Okay, we're actually gonna start assembling this thing soon. But first, freaking wash your hands, you filthy animal. Alright, so we have the coffee from earlier. It's kind of like cold, not gonna lie. And we're dipping the lady fingers inside of the coffee and kind of just making a bottom base layer. Look how beautiful my cookies look. This is the first time I've ever made lady fingers. Things are like kind of still good right now. So we have the mascarpone and egg yolk and we're putting the whipped cream in it now. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of curdled a little bit, and what I should have done was put it back on the double boiler, but I don't need to tell you again how lazy I am. And I mean, like, it tastes good, which I feel is more important than looks for right now. Okay, so this is where things is like it's awful from here on. So I have the egg whites from earlier and I just discovered that I needed to use egg whites. So the problem here is the egg whites will not peak if you have the slightest bit of egg yolk in it. I'll repeat that again. It's not gonna peak. So I put it on kind of hopeful. Also, I didn't clean the whisk or the bowl or anything. I'm telling you, I'm lazy. Always make sure you wash the dishes as you're cooking. Don't just leave the mess there. It's not nice. It's not nice to look at. Also, at the end, you're gonna hate yourself for piling up the dishes. So this thing is still whisking, and this is really as far as it's gonna get, let's be honest. But I was kind of lying to myself because I didn't want to break 4 more eggs just for some egg whites. This part is the bane of my existence. Oh no. Is that gonna be really like bad or just okay? You're supposed to mix the egg whites, which is supposed to be like fluffy and peaky inside of the mascarpone cream. I don't even think it was necessary for me to put egg whites at all. Like, I could have just done the whipped cream and it would have been fine, but I had to go and use the eggs. So I'm basically just gonna assemble the whole thing together now. We have the first layer, and then I put the cream, which is looking kind of sus. I definitely didn't mix it properly, but it's like 5 o'clock at this point, so cut me some slack. Using my cookies and the store-bought cookies, the cream looks really sus, but whatever. I even added a 3rd layer because we had cookies left over, and I don't know, I just wanted to get rid of everything. Last layer, oh god, I put some cocoa And that's pretty much it. Make sure you wash your freaking dishes. Don't leave it for your mom to see in the morning. That's why she doesn't like you, okay? All you have to do is wash the dishes. Put this crap in the fridge. Get this shit away from me. Get it away from me. Get it away from me. And you're done. Hello, welcome back. I have the tiramisu right here. It is currently 3:09, so I've been up for, I'm not doing the math, but well over 8 hours. I'm gonna tell you if it was worth it or not. But here's a picture of the tiramisu. It actually doesn't look that bad. I'm not really good at taking pictures of food. You know, for my first tiramisu, I feel like I can't complain. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, actually. So from what I gather, I think it's a pretty forgiving dish, even though I did mess up a lot and I did a lot of things wrong. I think the first time is always like a trial, a test. From now on, I think I know how to make tiramisu. I can kind of see the difference between my cookie and the store-bought cookie, but I think that like they both taste good, so it's not really a problem. I'm actually kind of allergic to chocolate, so my mouth is itching, but it's kind of itching for joy. If you have the time, you should definitely make it yourself. Give it a go. It's not that complicated. The only thing you might have to go out of your way to buy is mascarpone. Everything else is stuff that you would probably have already. I'd rate this dessert 7.5 out of 10. By the way, if you're not subscribed to me, you're legally prohibited from making or consuming tiramisu. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. You can easily overcome that by just subscribing. If not, then you will never be allowed to eat tiramisu ever again. So, good luck. See you in the next one.